2 years ago, I took on a challenge, and the challenge was very simple. Is it possible to take 100 Rand and turn it into more than 4 million in 2 years? I saw a YouTube video, and in the YouTube video, a client gave two experts here in South Africa 500,000 Rand each to see who's going to give him the best growth over a 5-year term. The one is a broker and the other one is a fund manager. And when I saw that, I decided that I'm going to join to compare myself versus these two guys. But I've said that instead of putting down 500,000 Rand, that's a huge risk. I'm going to apply the wealth creator strategy, and by doing that, I will not invest more than 100 Rand or give more than 100 Rand security. That's the first thing. And then in a year's time, I want to get to at least 500,000 so that I can compete based on 500,000 with it. And then at the end of 5 years, I'm going to outperform them or the best fund managers, not only in South Africa, but hedge fund managers around the world with at least 100% based on the 500,000. Now, my risk was only 100 Rand. And then I said that I'm going to continue, and I'd like to see how close I can get to 20 million. So that was the initial goal that I've set myself. Today, I've sent the financials to the auditors in order to be able to verify it. And according to the financials, we're at 4,360,891 rands and 49 cents. Now, of course, I'm in cryptos as part of my portfolio. So this means there's a massive fluctuation that can literally happen during the day. The reason why I've took on this challenge is to show people the power of the wealth creator strategy. The wealth creator strategy, if I can give you a quick definition of it, is the intelligent use of limited resources to go from where you are to where you want to be in the shortest possible time with the least amount of risk. We do not understand risk. I was a financial planner many years ago, and what they taught me about risk did not make sense. Warren Buffett, and I'm sure that most of you will know him, says risk is when you do not know what you're doing. So if I take my money and I give it to someone else, it means I do not know what I'm doing. Therefore, I trust my money to them. That simply means that I'm taking all the risk. Not only am I taking all the risk, at the same time, I've got no control over the growth. So way back in 1987, I discovered a small little strategy. We call it the wealth creator strategy or wealth creators method that I've just mentioned to you. And the trick about that is to focus on the risk side. By eliminating the risk, you will get a phenomenal growth on condition that you've got the skills. So the question then immediately is, but how do you offset or how do you overcome risk? And the answer is by having the right skill sets or competencies. Now, there are 4 high-value skill sets that we focus on. The first one, of course, is the mindset, which to me is the most important one. And then high income skills, high business skill, and high investment skills. So the moment that there's a surplus, what do we do with that surplus in order to let that surplus work for us? That's the short of this whole thing. The value that I'd like to add today is, why is it that the majority of people will not be able to do it? First of all, they're not going to take the responsibility to learn the skills because, let's face it, we are conditioned through the educational system and the financial system that they are experts and that they know what to do, and therefore hand your money over to them. So the biggest difference between the conventional way of doing things and the wealth creator strategy is that we take the responsibility by learning the skills in order to be able to do it ourselves. Now, by far, the majority of people will not adopt this mindset. They are going to trust other people and rather give them hard-earned money to other people where they do not take the risk, they do not have any control over the growth, and they are going to be happy with whatever those people are giving them. Now, I want to make it clear that there's absolutely nothing wrong if you do not want to learn the skills in order to seek professional advice. It's going to be far better to do that and go to professional advisors and fund managers and stuff like that than to try to do it on your own, because the risk for you is just going to be too big because you do not know. And then we get these schemes that is running where people promise the sun, moon, and star and 50% growth per month, something like that. I saw the other day on Facebook. And people literally take their money, their hard-earned money, and they give it to a scheme like that. That to me, every time that I see something like that, I can guarantee you that it's going to be a Ponzi scheme and that is not going to work. But this is a reason why I say, then go to a professional and get advice from them and follow their recommendations. The moment that you do it yourself, you need to understand the risk. And the risk is the moment that you give your money to someone else, you're taking all the risk. Only you can lose and will lose. But then there's something else, and this is what I want to focus on. Hopefully is going to help you. Our mindset is going to determine the outcome of our lives. In other words, because of all the decisions that we've made in the past, this brought us to where we are right now. And this is a perfect representation or a reflection of the choices that we've made. But those choices was because of our mindset, of the way that we think and thought at that point in time. The problem is if we do not understand our mind and we do not understand money, we are not going to make informed decisions. Let's look at money. Money, as far as I'm concerned, is a very powerful force in our lives. And money can shape the choices that we're going to make. It's going to present us with opportunities and possibilities. And it will definitely have, to a certain extent, an effect on our self-worth. Now, unfortunately, many people hold limiting beliefs about money, and that is what keeps them trapped in scarcity. That is the reason why they're not going to take the responsibility in order to learn the skills in order to have a life of abundance. Today, I'd like to take 2 or 3 of these myths and discuss how adopting an unstoppable mindset can help you in order to overcome them, to enable you to create a life filled with abundance and prosperity, where it's not going to be difficult to let your money work for you on condition that you are prepared to do that you need to do. The first myth that I'd like to tackle is this one: the money is the root of all evil. Now, please, I'm not an advisor or anything like that. Don't take what I'm saying seriously. It's just the way that I'm thinking or the way that I figure this for myself. So I think this is perhaps one of the most pervasive beliefs about money, and that is that money is the root of all evil. So this belief implies that money is inherently bad and that those who seek it are immoral. However, this belief simply is not the truth. Money is neutral. Money is energy. But the thing with money is it merely amplifies who you are. In other words, it takes on your energy. Whoever is handling that money, it takes on their energy. If you're a bad person, guess what's going to happen with the money that you're making? It's going to have a bad effect. It's not going to be uplifting to the rest of the community. If you're a good person, you're going to be able to use that money positively, right? So to adopt an unstoppable mindset, a mindset where you are in control and where you can get the outcome that you want, simply by adopting that mindset, you're going to shift your perception of money as a force for good and positivity. Remember, it can become a forceful negative thing, but it's going to depend on you. So recognize that money can be a tool for creating a positive change in your life, in your family, as well as in the lives of other people. The second negative or myth that I'd like to address is this perception that it's difficult to make money. I think we've all heard that. In other words, this perceived hardship of earning money. Now, I think where it comes from, again, is our limiting beliefs that run on a subconscious basis. For example, the way most people, I would say about 95% the last time that I checked, of South Africans are working for someone. In other words, they're not their own boss. They expand their energy in return for money, which is another form of energy. Okay? And let's take a simple example. Let's assume that you work 8 hours per day, 5 days a week, and you earn, let's say, 30,000 Rand. What's going to go through your mind if I'm telling you that you can double that money from 30,000 to 60,000? Most people are not even going to give it a go simply because in their mind, if I'm working 8 hours per day in order to get 30,000, it means that I have to spend 16 hours a day, which is basically impossible for the average person. So the idea that making money is difficult and requires endless hard work is another belief that holds so many people back, and therefore they're not going to tap in to develop the skills that they need in order to make money and to make it a lot easier than perhaps what they're doing at the moment. So this concept then leads to feelings of exhaustion, discouragement, where people try this, they burn out, and they don't understand why is it that some people are making tons of money and it looks like they're not working, and other people are really battling just to get through. Now, there's a saying that I'm sure that you've heard that says, work smarter and not harder. But for the average person that is selling their time, this is a very difficult concept to understand. So to understand this, we need to understand that it's our skills and talents and our abilities to create value for others that is converted into money. For example, we've got a course called the Rainmakers Business Course, where we take our students through a process where there's no money involved. In other words, they cannot start the business with money or security. By simply tapping into the resources and by following a very specific method, anyone can start a business with no money. And then we can take that business, and through the Wealth Creators Business Development Program, we can grow that business. But the trick is by solving problems that other people have, on condition that you know how to position yourself to do that. And the trick is, the more problems you can solve, guess what? The more money you're going to make. All you need to do is to find the time in order to discover where can you put yourself in a position where you can add more value. And that means the moment that you do that, you do not need to spend more time in order to make money. So shifting to this perspective can help you to make more money without spending a lot of time and effort in order to be able to do it. And then the beauty about it is there's nowadays technology, the internet, and everything that goes with it. When I started off way back in 1987, when I discovered that this was not available. But during that time, I discovered that if I'm doing a presentation, I was a certified financial planner at that point in my life. But most people would do a presentation, then move on to the next one, and you see about 10 people and maybe one or two would buy a product from you. But I discovered during that time that what if I could do a presentation where I could speak to, say, 10 people or 100 people at exactly the same time and give them the different options. So now suddenly my productivity went through the roof. And because of that, and simply because of that, I ended up being a top of the table, which is the top 1%, I think, of the top 1% in the world. $1 million round table, quarter of the table, top 25 in South Africa. By just shifting that you do not have to work harder, most agents or brokers will spend more time in front of a client in order to make a living. But there's a different way. And nowadays with the internet, you can scale this. If I speak to one person or if I speak to 1 million people that I reach through this video, it's exactly the same amount of time and effort that I'm going to put into this. And the moment that you start adding value, people are going to start listening to you. And I hope that you can see that my purpose is to add value to you. I know that if I add enough value, people will join the Wealth Creators Method. I know it. I don't have to worry about it. I've been doing this. I retired at 37 in 2002. Tanya said to me, go and teach this that you've applied in your life to other people. At that point in time, it was a very difficult concept to think that I would become a teacher, something that I did not like at school. But in any case, today I'm basically a teacher. Another mindset that I want to focus on just for now is this thing that I can't afford it. There's always a price that we're going to pay for something. Always. There's a price for doing something and there's a price for not doing something. And all we have to do is to weigh up that price. So the moment that we say, I can't afford it, we've got that mindset. This is a limiting belief that is going to stop you from doing that you need to do. Because let's face it, the financial educational system does not work. Those people do not know how to take, and I'm talking about the best of those people. They do not know how to take 100 Rand and turn it into 4 million in 2 years. So if someone has got that ability and has got the systems, and there's a way for me to tap into that and spend money in order to speed up the skill set that I need to invest that, then it may be one of the greatest ways in order for me to move forward. So this scarcity mindset is costing a lot of people a lot of money, and it limits your opportunities and reinforces the idea that you're never going to have enough. I want you to adopt this unstoppable mindset that you believe that you can always find ways to obtain that you desire, even if you do not know how it's going to happen initially. So I want you to embrace the idea that there are countless avenues to create the life that you envision. Perhaps I can tell you a little story about my first mentor. Before I met him, he said that he's got a mentoring course where he'll teach people how to become as successful as he was. He was top of the table, top 1% of the top 1% of the world, core of the table, $1 million round table. And he's almost done it like effortlessly. Now, first of all, I did not believe it. I was very skeptical until I saw the credentials. I saw the accolades that he had. And to be able to do that, to me, it was so out of my mind. And he said, I've got a system and I'll teach you how to use the system so that you'll be able to do that on condition that you actually do that. You can't just attend something and then don't apply it. But I'll give you everything that you'll need in order to be able to do it. And I did that. And my life changed. In other words, instead of trying my whole life to figure something out, we retired at the age of 37, and this was about at the age of 30 that I've done this. This that I'm sharing with you is stuff that I had to change my own mindsets around. Nowadays, it's very simple and easy. If I want to have a helicopter, I'm not going to go to the money that I've got somewhere. I'm going to say, okay, but how can I add value to other people in order to add so much value that they'll give me a helicopter for free? Or this house that I'm staying in has cost me no cent. The game farms cost me no cent, right? It's simply because we've got a different attitude where we understand that you do not need money to make money and that everything is there on condition that we take responsibility for our own lives and to learn the skill sets. And you can't go to university and get that skill set in order to get a degree. I think by now you understand it's not working. Those people with the MBAs and the CAs and the CFPs and the CPAs, those people do not know how to turn 100 Rand into 4 million. It's maybe I've got it wrong, and then please let me know and show me that you can do it. To truly adopt an unstoppable mindset and break free from these limiting money beliefs, we need to take specific actions and make significant changes or shifts in terms of our perspective. We've got different programs, what we call a resistor identification process and then the resistor removal process. And then normally we combine them with a power goal where you want to achieve certain things within a certain time by following a very specific method in order to be able to do it. Now, there are, of course, other steps, and I'd like to give some of them to you, hoping that I can help you so that the effort that you put into this and that you've listened to this video, that you can start to improve yourself in self-development. The first thing is, let's look at self-reflection. Begin by examining your current beliefs about money. And your current beliefs is actually a representation of your current situation. What growth is it that you're getting currently and over the last year, 5 years, 10 years on your money? How hard is your money working for you? Because that is why you're in the position that you're at in the moment. Maybe good, maybe bad. But begin by examining your current beliefs about money and how you treat money and how you understand money. So identify which of the three that I gave you, there's of course a lot more, of these limiting beliefs resonate with you, and acknowledge their impact in your life. In other words, we've got this thing, a belief system in the subconscious mind, but then we've got a reticular activated system in the mind that is the store, delete, generalize, add information to link up with this that you believe. Your belief system is going to dictate that whatever you believe in will always be right, irrespective if the facts are right in front of you. And the only way for you to change is to become aware that maybe this that I believe is not helping me to get ahead in my life. So if you do not know how to turn 100 into 4 million, it simply means that maybe you need to change, and you need to acknowledge that this that I'm doing at the moment by giving my money to someone else, maybe it's not working. The second thing is a question that I've asked myself way back when I started this process about in 86, 87 was, how much has this limiting belief already cost me? In other words, I like to do sums. I like to see, okay, if I do this, what will the result be? If I don't do it, what's the result going to be? And with a normal financial institution, it's not very difficult. All I had to do was to look at the endowment policies that I wrote myself, my unit trust that I wrote myself, my annuities that I wrote myself, and compare that over a 5-year period, because that was, at that stage, I was 5 years in the game, only to figure out that these products are costing me money. It hasn't made me money because of all the costs involved in this whole thing. And I canceled that and I started focusing on property simply because I developed the property program, and I saw how it works, and that there are 27 variables, and that the variables are risk, and I can mitigate the risk by having the skills to mitigate each one of them. And then I did this formula that I'm dishing out on the live seminars and workshops that I've got, where your IGR must be bigger than your FGR. So your FGR simply means what's your financial freedom growth rate. In other words, how hard must your money work for you? And then you compare it to how hard your money is actually working for you by having it in an endowment policy or a retirement annuity or a unit trust or a mutual fund or a fund manager or on the stock market or on property. It's simple. But when I did that calculation, I thought I need to change my mindset. The third pointer here is practice mindfulness to catch yourself when you slip into negative thought patterns about money. For example, I gave you 3, that it's difficult to make money as an example. You have to catch yourself. Being aware of your thoughts is the first step to change them. If you're not going to become aware of that because of the subconscious meta program belief system that is running, you're not going to become aware of it, and you're going to see in the real world everything that guides you that this can't be true, that someone can't take 100 rand, turn it into 4 million. And then something that works to a certain extent is positive affirmations. So use positive affirmations in order to help you to reprogram the mind. There's a far better way to do it. We call it power goals, but it takes time and effort to learn the skill. But use powerful affirmations to reprogram your mindset, and make sure that when you do that, you add a lot of emotions. For example, I'm worthy of abundance, or money is a force of good, or I can create wealth while I'm helping other people. And the moment that a negative thought enters into your mind that is difficult, simply say, I can create wealth while helping other people. And I'm sure that the majority of people like to help other people. It's something out of the 7 basic needs that we've got. But this is the 6th need in order to contribute to help other people. This is the main reason why I'm doing for the last 21 years what I'm doing since 2002. When Tanya said to me, Hannes, go and teach so that people do not make the same mistakes that we've made. Teach them the systems that you're using. The next point that I want to bring to you is continuous learning. I see so many people after they leave school or university or college, there's no continuous growth. Personal development and financial education is crucial, but be careful for financial education the way that everyone is going to tell you to do it, the financial system, because there may be a hidden agenda behind that. And of course, in some of my seminars, I'm getting deeper into it to show you that there's always a hidden agenda that you're not aware of. And then another point maybe that I can bring to you is surround yourself with positivity. Surround yourself with like-minded people. Be careful for these energy vampires that listen to the news and that will always tell you the worst things that is happening. Even before it happens, they already know that is going to happen. And that attitude is going to rub off on you. So we've, for example, got an inner circle where we meet on Tuesdays, and where like-minded people get together to give feedback in terms of what we've done. So it's almost like you have a massive accountability partner. But not only that, it's also to direct you and say, listen, I've handled that situation in this way when I encounter that. But another person will come and say, I've done it, but in this way. So the more options you're going to have available, the better it's going to be for you. For the simple fact that we are not the same. You haven't got the same skills and likes and dislikes that I've got. Same with me towards you. But when you start combining this, you can say, okay, but this makes a lot more sense to me than following that path. And in doing so, you're going to run through those breakthroughs. When people say how they've turned their business or their investments around in a very short time, and they start explaining what they've done, that changes the way that we perceive business, investments, and making money. And then lastly, in terms of this, maybe visualize your ideal life. This to me was very important when I started off. You need to have a clear vision of the life that you want to live and the financial abundance that you desire. And you need to know why you need to do that. Now, during the live masterclasses, I'm giving this Power Goal book away as part of saying thank you for attending. And in that, I'm going to take you through the process that I followed. Now, again, I'm not saying that it's going to work for you. It's a process that I'm following, that I've followed since 1987, that has worked for my other students, and I'd like to offer that to you. To become successful simply means that I need to get the right information in the right order for the level of the game that I'm at, and then I have to apply it to measure my IGR and compare that with my FFGR, my financial freedom growth rate. And if it's not on par, it simply means that I need to do something about the skills. And those skills are in different levels. And very few people know about this, and very few people, almost none, will teach this, especially not financial advisors and so forth. This visualization can help you to manifest, because now you've got a power goal. There's a process that we can follow. We call it power morphing. You identify the resistors, you eliminate those resistors, and that's going to help you to get closer to your goal a lot faster without all this negativity that's around us. And then lastly, you have to take action. An unstoppable mindset is not about positive thinking. It's about actually doing. There are two components to it. It's the mindset as well as the performance, and both of them needs to be very high to become successful in life. By the way, the definition of success, according to Earl Nightingale, is the progressive realization of a worthy goal. The quickest way to do it is find a mentor that has done that you want to achieve. This is what I've done with my first mentor. And what I've done in a very short time, I would never ever be able to do that without the guidance of that person, simply because he's already done it in the system, and he was willing for a nominal fee. To me, at that point in time, it was a lot of money. But for a nominal fee, now that I'm looking back, to impart that knowledge and experience and skills with me. Be proactive in seeking opportunities and to create value in other people. Maybe this is long enough to conclude. In order to turn 100 Rand into more than 4 million in 2 years, you must adopt an unstoppable mindset. And it's going to require you to take responsibility, and it's going to require a shift in your beliefs, in your actions, and in your perceptions about money. And by simply challenging and transforming the 3 myths that I gave you, these common limiting money beliefs, you can open yourself to a world of abundance and prosperity, my friend. And remember that that money is energy. It's just a tool. That's all it is. And the best part of money is that your relationship with it is entirely within your control. That to me is fabulous, to know that I'm in control of that and who I am and how I'm dealing with money. So with the right mindset, you can create the financial success and life that you deserve. If you want to follow the 5-year 500k challenge, subscribe to this challenge. You're going to find a link just in the description area just below this video. Also, if you want to learn how to become a wealth creator, where you know how to create, to grow, to protect, and to enjoy your wealth, and you want to learn more about the wealth creator strategy and how to apply it in real life situations, then join one of my masterclasses. I think I've got 4. You'll find the link just below this video. Click on that, book your seat, and make sure that you pitch up. During that, I'm giving the Power Goal book, as well as the Financial Freedom Crash Course, as well as the Formula for Riches, as well as Quantum Awakening and Mindset course away for free, just to say thank you for being willing to invest in yourself and to do that personal development. You'll see the link, click on that, book your seat, and then I'll see you in that one. By the way, there's also a live question and answer session, and I will not leave until each and every question has been answered. So thank you so much for your time, for listening to me. I hope that you found this valuable, and then I'll see you in the next one.